Alright, welcome back to Sonic Heroes. In this video we're going to play probably my two favorite levels in the game.
Looks like Eggman escaped into the city.
Eggman's robots are taking control of everything!
Let's find Eggman and show him the real power of teamwork.
Hell yeah, the real power of teamwork. Love all this anime nonsense. So these two levels, I think I probably have the most fond memories of. The levels visually look really good. I love this big bustling city. I love the music. It's some really good stuff. This is when this game is at its absolute best, and I don't know what just happened there. I think the Lightspeed Dash kind of freaked out.
Yes, we are.
So this is immediately when they're going to start giving you a little bit more difficult enemies to deal with. What they want you to do is have Knuckles, or Sonic, spin those guys on their back, and then Knuckles defeat them, but I found when playing this sometimes they just die anyway when they flip upside down, so, you know, whatever. Level up! One thing I didn't talk about in the first video that I will talk about now is this is the last game to feature the Adventure voice cast.
There's more?
Except for Tails. Tails is a new character that they have brought in, or new actor that they brought in. Probably the worst Tails voice. I'm sorry, I don't know who this kid is, but he didn't do a very good job. I think everybody here is on their A game. This is... the same thing happened with Sonic Unleashed, where I feel like Jason Griffith finally, like, got into his rhythm with voicing Sonic there. And it would have been a good base to see, you know, further games explore his performances, but Ryan Drummond, I think, is at the absolute top of his game in this game. Unfortunately, the story is basically useless. The story in this game absolutely blows, and it is not even worth talking about. But all the actors really give it their all, and they really finally feel like they are, you know, at the top of their game voicing these characters. That was unfortunate. I wish I had gotten that Lightspeed Dash. But oh well. Yeah, I like that the levels feel a little bit more open than the ones in Sonic Adventure 2. The Sonic Adventure 2 speed stages felt fairly linear, but these have a lot of cool, like, alternate routes you can go, and, you know. People have said this, and I completely agree, that this game feels way more like one of the classic games than it does like an adventure game. Because you're just going from weird location to weird location in this game without really any... like, there's no real reason for it. Like, in Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 and other games in the series, there's like a narrative reason for why we're going places. But this game is like, okay, we're at a seaside, now we're at a city, then we're going to be at a casino, then we're going to be in the sky, and then, you know, it's just going to keep getting weirder and weirder, and it feels very disjointed, and the whole 2 acts and a boss thing feels very, very classic Sonic. And that's one of the things, the structure I definitely like about it, but again, coming off of Sonic Adventure 2, where all the levels felt like they had a purpose and felt like they belonged in the game that they are in, it's very much so a step down. And when I was a kid, I think I even knew that, and I would just accept anything as a kid. But this game did, I think, kind of make me drop the Sonic series for a while, because after this game I didn't play a Sonic game until Sonic 06, actually, funny enough. Because I skipped Shadow altogether, because it was more of this. It was the same gameplay from this, and I don't even know if I knew that Shadow was like a thing that existed. Because I remember one day my friend just brought the game over, and I was like, what is this? And of course he showed it to me. He only wanted to show me the cutscenes, because he wanted to show me Shadow cursing, because he thought it was so cool. And as a kid, yeah, I mean, I thought that was cool too. That's why they did that, was to appeal to exactly me. A kid who would look at Shadow the Hedgehog saying hell or damn, and think that that was a cool thing, and not incredibly cringy. But actually, speaking of Shadow the Hedgehog, someone's gonna have to talk me out of this, but I was thinking, you know, I went back and revisited two games that I've had mixed feelings on, Sonic Adventure 2 and Sonic Heroes, and loved Sonic Adventure 2, had mixed feelings, but overall sort of enjoyed Heroes. And I'm thinking, should I go back and revisit Shadow the Hedgehog? I really don't want to, but I don't know, maybe. It's a possibility.
Too easy.
You can tell I get good ranks on the levels that I like. You know, B and A is fine. I don't usually get, like, worse than that on levels that I actually enjoy playing, but the levels that I hate, I consistently get, like, C's and D's on. So yeah, when you're playing the Sonic and Shadow levels, those are really when the game feels more complete, and I would say there's even some more challenging platforming stuff in the Team Dark sections, like in those loop-de-loops. In the middle of them, they put those rainbow rings so that you can skip it and get some more points, and I always like doing that as Team Dark, and I actually completely forgot that they weren't there as Team Sonic. So I would say in some ways the levels feel even more complete as Team Dark, and would maybe even recommend playing through those before Team Sonic. I kind of wish, I know that they did Seaside Hill or whatever the first level's called in Sonic Generations. I think this one would have been cool to see. I don't remember, what did they do, what level did they do in the DS version? What level did they do? I don't know, I think it was just the same, right? They just did Seaside Hill again. I really don't remember, that DS version stunk. Which is a shame because the people who made it, Dimps, you know, made the Sonic Advance games, and I loved those growing up. But then they just kept making, like, worse Sonic game after worse Sonic game. Sonic 4 is not good. Sonic, what was the other one? They did all the, like, DS and 3DS ports of the actual mainline games, and those were far and away the worst version of those games. Like Lost World, Wii U is a game that I vaguely enjoy, and I would say I can get some enjoyment out of, but the 3DS version of that looked like absolute garbanzo beans. But yeah, I think the game is fairly neat sometimes, but we'll probably talk about it more as it goes on. The story in this game is such a step down. I get it. You don't want to go back and do another dark storyline. You don't want to have another story where a guy gets firing squatted by the military of the in-game universe because his daughter or his niece died because she was shot by police officers. Because she was on an ark that was trying to cure her disease, but they accidentally made a lizard man instead. Like, I don't know. I understand you didn't want to do that again, but I love a good story in a Sonic game. And this one is not very interesting at all. See, that's what I'm talking about. Sonic is very slippery sometimes. Sometimes to his detriment. They kind of have, like, a few frames where, like, they make it a little hard for you to fall off the platform. Like, he has like a balancing animation almost, like in the classic games. But I wouldn't count on that very often. There are some boss battles that take place in an arena just like this, where it's like a circle that you're on, and using Sonic in those can be very dangerous. Because you're either going to homing attack off, or you're going to slide around so much that you're probably just going to fly off the map. And it's very dangerous. Sonic is very dangerous to play as in this game. All the speed characters are. And I think if the story was a little bit better, I might enjoy the game more. I don't know. I've always been that way. I love a good story in a game. But if the gameplay is good enough, I don't really care if there's not really a story. But that's the thing, is that the story, the gameplay in this game is I'm very hit or miss on. When the levels are good, I enjoy it, but when they're not, boy, do I hate this game. Which we will get into very soon. Very, very soon. I believe the next level that we're going to play is one of the 2 levels in this game that I absolutely despise. So yeah, you can see when Sonic is all the way leveled up, you basically don't even need to switch to Knuckles to defeat any of these enemies. You can just immediately kill them. Which is why I think the leveling up system is fairly cool, but I think the game would just be better off overall if you were all the way leveled up from the get-go. I think it would just function better, personally.
Leave it to me. Let's go.
Here we go.
And there's not even like an option to go through, like, oh, you beat the game. Now you can just play through it as level 3 right from the start. That unfortunately is not a reality of this game, which would have been nice. Like, oh, you beat the game with all the characters and you finished the last story. Cool, now you can just play the game all powered up and you don't have to worry about anything. Also, powering up the characters is kind of required for getting good, like, A ranks on the levels. Because if all the characters aren't leveled up, you're not really gonna get anything. When I was playing this, I was thinking how to make this style of gameplay better. Like, how do you just tweak this slightly to make it a little bit more enjoyable? The characters you can't switch to the next character until your feet are firmly on the ground. So if I'm playing as Tails and I'm flying and I want to switch to Sonic, I can switch to Sonic, but it won't activate until I reach the ground. And I think being able to do it on the fly completely would bring in a lot of new mechanics. You can kind of chain combos maybe together. You know, throw an enemy as Tails, and then slam them as Knuckles, and then tornado them as Sonic. I think you could work in a cool little combo mechanic to this game if you were to just tweak it slightly and allow on-the-fly character switching. I think would be kind of cool. Like, thinking of it like Dante's styles in Devil May Cry. Obviously, this game's not going to be as in-depth as a Devil May Cry game, but you could give the option to just... First off, it makes the experience faster. You don't have to wait around for a character to reach the ground to switch to them. And I think it could create a lot more options in the gameplay. I do like the strategery, to borrow a phrase, of, you know, okay, this character isn't leveled up all the way, so when I get to the next checkpoint, let me just switch to them.
Let Sonic take care of this.
Like, yeah, gameplay like this is cool. It makes you feel real good. When the levels are really well designed in this game, the game is, like, actually genuinely very good. And I found myself enjoying this playthrough until, once again, we get to the 2 levels that I do not like playing. So I guess for this recording, what I actually did was I played through Team Rose first. Because first off, this is, if you've been watching me for a while, something I've talked about before, but a couple years ago my GameCube memory card got wiped. I wouldn't have had to replay through all of the levels if that hadn't happened, but for this playthrough, I guess it's kind of a good thing I got the full experience, but I played through first as Team Rose, got all the emeralds, then Chaotix, then Dark, then I finished it with Sonic because I wanted to see, is this really the best version of this game out there? And yeah, I think that was definitely, if you start the game with Team Sonic and that's that, you'll probably have a fun experience, but, you know, if you play the other ones first, maybe not.
Gotcha, my darling Sonic.
Amy, what are you doing here?
Sonic, this time there's no way out of marrying me.
So these are team battles. These suck. They're very bad. They're worse than the ones in Sonic Adventure 2 and 1. The all-time strategy, evergreen, never need to do anything else. Stand in the middle of the stage and use the tornado attack as Sonic or the Speed character. All the characters will get flown off the stage eventually. And there you go. That's that. But I'll see you in the next video where we start the worst level in the game.
Mary! marriage? No way!